Hey everyone, welcome back. Check it out. We're looking at the Polestar 4, or what we think the Polestar 4 could look like. This is actually very exciting. So what have we got here? The Polestar subcompact EV crossover rendered as mini Aceman rival. So apparently this is what the mini Aceman is. They look quite different, to be honest. We've seen the Polestar 4 covered up, but we haven't seen this car properly, and we're probably going to start getting a few teasers here and there from Polestar early next year. So it's actually going to be quite exciting to get this car. But why am I so impressed? This render is perhaps the closest thing the real car will look like. Seriously, this render is actually pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. I'm actually really impressed with this and everything. Now, these are some other renders as well. So these renders are actually quite good as well. Even this one, I was actually quite impressed with this one as well. So yeah, the renders are on. However, from the rear, I've got to say, I'm not too sure if that's what it's going to look like. I mean, it's very Polestar-like, very similar to the Polestar 2 actually. But at the same time, that body, the rear, it looks a bit BMW-ish, just a little bit, because you got a big booty, it's like a BMW. And come on, it's not just me. Everyone knows that BMW cars, they got a big one. And this is the Polestar 3, of course. The Polestar 4 is fully covered up right there on the right. Listen, it's going to be lower, it's going to be slimmer. I'm telling you, it's going to look pretty similar to this. This is what we're working with. And sometimes, you know how they get these renders? I'll give you a little hint. I'll give you a secret. You want to know the secret of how they get these renders? One, sometimes someone in the actual company working on these cars see these cars. What they do, they leak the image. But the publishers, they can't print those images, or else it's going to go back to the employee, it's going to go back to the employer. It's gonna be a mess. So what these publishers do, which is actually quite clever, they look at the image and then they get like a 3D designer to render something extremely similar, not the exact same though. Then you can say, this is what the Polestar 4 will look like, but it's not the same as the ones we got through the person who leaked it. That's how it works. That's how it works with phone companies. When a new iPhone gets leaked, that's typically how it goes. Someone leaked it, but the people who publish it have to change it around so it looks different, so Apple won't sue. It's a whole story. So let's see what this article has to say. Polestar has an ambition to plan to launch a brand new model every year at least until 2026. The Swedish performance brand unveiled the Polestar 3 with a massive 111 kilowatt-hour battery pack in October this year. And it also wanted to expand its smaller utility segments. A subcompact crossover is believed to be under development, and we have a new rendering giving an early look at the upcoming electric vehicle. That's certainly a new render, certainly a new early look. But I can guarantee you, they know what the car looks like already. They just can't publish it. It's no coincidence that all of these renders look so familiar, so similar. They're not just going off the typical Polestar detail. Look at the Polestar 3, right? Look at that, right? Take another look. Very different. So they're not just using their imagination. No, they're using real images, real leaks. Something I did find quite suspicious. The rear looks very similar to Volvo, like the Volvo EX40 Recharge or CX40 Recharge. Names are confusing, but the 40 Recharge. The rear looks very similar, could be built on the same platform, but you notice the front of the vehicle is very squashed. It's very squashed. No vehicle come out looking like that. It looks like a damn bus. It's very squashed. That was deliberately rendered. So it looks different from the original. That was deliberate. Trust me, that was quite deliberate. They probably just did that in the last moment and say, let's change it a little bit more so it looks different. Now the middle of this vehicle, the center and everything, that looks very Polestar 3. That looks very similar to a Polestar 3. The vent right there, that looks like similar to the Volvo, the new Volvo EX90. That hood right there looks very, very similar. And obviously the seats, pure Volvo, headrests, everything. Here's what the article goes on to say. Our pals at Motor S are the first to visualize this zero emissions B segment crossover nomenclature, and the publication was kind enough to share its exclusive preview with us. What you see in the image is a small battery power crossover with a coupe inspired roofline, muscular side profiles, and a distinctive Polestar front fascia. This isn't the prettiest model, that's for sure, but this is what the reality in the segment usually looks like. Yeah, I see what they're doing. It's a new render, and it's been driving the Polestar community crazy. Seriously, it's been really exciting, but it's really close. It's really close to what the real vehicle will look like. I don't know what the real vehicle will look like, but I imagine it would look something like this. I mean, like, this is the closest we're gonna get, to be honest. It goes on to say, it is way too early to predict what hides under the skin. However, we know some preliminary details. Of course they know these details. According to the available information, you see what's going on here. They know what the car looks like already. The yet unnamed crossover will be based on Geely SEA platform. This is the modular architecture designed specifically for electric vehicles. Word on the street is that base model will have a single electric motor on the rear axle, while there might also be a dual motor all-wheel drive, and I'm guessing they probably release that at a later date. We will see. Now, the Polestar subcompact electric crossover will face serious competition, though Mini is working on the new Aceman, which will be positioned in the same league. Apparently so. But this vehicle is specifically to target the Porsche Macan. The Polestar 3 is to target the Porsche Cayenne, which is the Porsche big SUV. The Porsche Macan is a little bit smaller, a little bit cuter. Yeah, all the good stuff. In case you're wondering, this is what the Porsche Macan looks like. It's a small Porsche SUV, but it's actually a really nice looking SUV. Now, if you look at the Porsche Macan next to the Cayenne, on the left you got the Macan, on the right you got the Cayenne. The Cayenne is supposed to be bigger, which is going up against the almighty Polestar 3. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this new render, to be honest, because it looks very close to the real thing, even though I don't know what the real thing will look like. Now, further competition will come from Volvo, Polestar's sister brand within Geely family, which will release the EX30 at some point next year. The two, however, will be different in terms of power output and features. Both the EX30 and Polestar small crossover will share the same platform, which also used by the Smart One. The Smart One, the Smart vehicle is actually owned between Geely and Daimler Mercedes. So given that Geely owns a large percentage of the Smart brand, Mercedes is using that platform, but internally, interior-wise, it's a Mercedes car. It's so interesting to see. But ladies and gents, that is it for this video. Let me know what you think about this render. Do you think it's going to be close to the real thing? I think it's pretty close. I think compared to the real thing, it'll probably be an 8 out of 10. Close to a 9 out of 10, actually. It's pretty damn realistic. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in our next video. Peace.